right, so One Piece, chapter 1160. We hate the celestial dragons. We've already known that. Now it's just a race to who we hate more, Garling or Summers, or Saturn, or who. There's like too many. There's too many hateable characters in this series, to the point that earlier hateable characters, I'm like, what a laugh! They're such a good boy. I've officially forgiven Blackbeard. Blackbeard gave me PTSD in an earlier chapter, and now I'm just like, you know what? I can't really blame him. He had a tough life. He did horrible, unforgivable things, but what can be expected after he went through this hell? So we start off with the presentation of the Davy clan. And it's just like, behold the members of the Davy clan. And the celestial dragons in their dumb little spacesuits are going off on, they're monsters, they're horrible, kill them now. If we eradicate all of them, exterminate this entire lineage, the world will be better for it. One says like you're like Buccaneers, or no better than Buccaneers, or similar to Buccaneers. He makes a comparison to the Buccaneers. I don't know if the Davy clan, the Buccaneers, fought against the world government in the past, in the Void Century. Most likely were they friends. And then I'm just thinking, okay, so Blackbeard becomes a monster, rightfully so. We see him huddled in his mother's, we assume mother, who also, she looks a lot like Robin's design, or Robin's mother. Do I want Blackbeard and Robin to be like half siblings in some way, or related in some way? That'd be kind of cool, but I kind of like the idea that she was related to Luffy because like dragon's her father or something dumb like that, but it doesn't matter. Oda can draw female characters, kind of has a habit of drawing them to be similar, so probably not a thing. But like, he's huddled in her arms and he is looking terrified out at the demon versions of the celestial dragons like reaching for him. That's terrifying as a child, and it hurts me. And he grew up to be an utter monster. But at the same time, we have Kuma, who's went through similar trauma, the same events at God Valley, and he grew up to be an absolute angel who cared about the pain of others. He wanted to take the pain away, where Blackbeard, it feels more like, you inflicted this pain upon me, so now I'm going to do worse to everybody. If I had to go through this, so will everyone else. Whereas Kuma is just like, I had to go through this pain, so I don't want anyone else to. And I love that. I love that parallel. That is just beautiful. I love that character work there. The celestial dragons that are screaming at them also say, like, if they live, they pose a danger to all of us, speaking to probably both the Buccaneers and the Davy clan, mostly the Davy clan. And I'm just like, what does that mean? Is the specific bloodline an important part of destroying the celestial dragons? Probably not. But is it just a legend that's been passed down for centuries? Who knows? But I need all celestial dragons just to... So Saturn praises Garling for finding the members of the Davy clan, and Garling just says it was fate. So yes, what they found, the resource, was the Davy clan. I had assumed there happened something else, because the mother with the red hair, the parents of Shanks and Shamrock, I assumed her bloodline was also important, but if she was a member of the Davy family, then... wouldn't that mean that she would be in the competition? Would he have killed her right away? Would he have wanted for the bloodlines to combine with that of the celestial dragons? And I would think no. I would think they want to exterminate the Davy bloodline. So is her bloodline something else? I still like my idea she's of the Waters family. I don't know what that means, but that's what I'm going with. But anywho, she ends up surviving long enough to pass her kids to Dragon, who found them. And she's like, I don't know you, but please save my children. Let them be raised by somebody kind. Do not let him have them. And let them grow up to be good men with kind hearts, kind of thing. And he takes the kids and is just like, I don't know you, ma'am. But I will save these kids. I want to save these kids. If I look back, if I hesitate, I'm going to be crushed by the weight of everything that's going on in this devilish world that we're in. So the games begin, the rabbits are released, and we have what is arguably the most brutal instance of anything that's happened in One Piece. Can I say that? In terms of violence on characters, because by God, we have a wife standing in front of her husband saying, do not kill my husband. We have parents huddling around their child saying, please spare my baby, do not hurt my child. We have oh, it hurt my heart. So there's a kid in a tree, and Saint Summers is below it with his thorn devil fruit with thorns around it, saying, "Oh, I've got something to cushion your fall." And he's hitting the tree as his father comes running. And is like, "No, that's my son. Spare him, please." And he's like, "Haha, your father's here, is he?" And the father says, "Don't worry." His son's calling out for him. He's like, "Daddy, save me." And he's like, "Don't worry, I'll catch you." Meaning he had to run into the thorns to try and save his child. And we know they both die, but Oda spared us the pain of seeing that. He didn't really spare us pain too much other times. Like, we see a gun point at a baby's head at one point, and then we see the shot fire. We just don't see anything else. But like, to know that Summer has had this mindset of loving the idea, because he's reveling in this, the idea of a parent tearing themselves apart for their child. That's what we're seeing on Elbath now. Heartbreaking. This was honestly absolutely brutal. And we see Dragon running through the fields with thankfully quiet infants. He draws attention to that. Is the fact that they're not crying going to be brought up? Because I don't understand how they're not screaming and crying. But he gets through it. He sees the fallen individuals that he had probably helped taser some of these people to bring them in for the games. He thinks about how, if I were to speak out or do anything against the world government, the nobles, the celestial dragons, like, my entire platoon would have been executed. We see, I'm assuming, his platoon leader thinking about, where is Dragon? Because maybe that's implied he cares for him, or he just doesn't want to get in trouble for losing one of the recruits. He's like, you better not still be on the island. And it's just horrible. But he does choose to act, because we know full-on treason in punching a celestial dragon in the face, let alone an act of rebellion. So he sees Iva and Kuma and Ginny, and he's like, they still have hope, because Iva's saying how we can't just wait for someone to come save us. We have to escape these games ourselves, just as a different celestial dragon is sneaking up on them. And Dragon chooses to act. He chooses violence, knowing that if he's found out, probably everyone would be executed, anyone he's ever known and loved, let alone just his platoon group. And he chooses to save them by killing the celestial dragons. He chose violence. And I can't help but think back to Garp, and if we think back to his reasons, even if we give the benefit of the doubt that he doesn't know the full story. We know he knows what's going on the island to an extent, but like, maybe it's like Whitebeard, where he thought, I didn't think it was this bad. I thought it was just rumors kind of thing. You can't actually hunt people. Maybe Garp has a different idea of what he thinks the world government is doing on this island while he was out on vacation. But Garp chooses to believe that the best place for him to be, where he can enact the most change, is within the system, whereas Dragon realizes that can't work. That to enact change, he has to rebel against the system. So again, I like that difference between the father and son there. Garp is just complicit in the violence of this terrible thing. Like, even if he says, oh, I don't want to advance my career because I don't want to work under the Celestial Dragons directly, you're still working under the Celestial Dragons. You're still upholding their laws and everything. And even if you think like there's some bad apples, but Marines as a whole does good for people at the cost and sacrifice of other people. And it's horrible. And I don't understand Garp, and I need an explanation. But this chapter ends when he arrives and everyone is blown away. It's like, Garp is here! Like a one-man army. And I need to see his reaction to the dead, to the pain, to the suffering, to what the people he has chosen to sacrifice to uphold the Celestial Dragon's rule so others can live peaceful, safe lives. He has sacrificed these people so others can live safely. And yes, he does have the point of, from within the system, he can train people up, like Kuzan and Kobe and everyone else. Like, he's inspiring the next generation to do better. Again, at the cost of this generation. So I love Garp's character, but he's driving me a little crazy. Back to the chapter. You have Celestial Dragons, Marines, talking about they're swooning over Garling, saying, oh, look at him as he kills more people. And you have them talking in front of Shakky, and this is when we actually get her, for the first time ever, I'm pretty sure, treated as an actual character for one singular panel, where she expresses like vulnerability in her expression. She doesn't have a single word, but it feels like, as they're talking about how, oh, he's so Garling will be so lucky to have this beautiful bride, like as if she's an object and a prize to be won. And you can feel the disgust in that. But then you have the Rocks pirates showing up, and they're not any. They are better. My bad. They are better. But still, they're all like, we're here to save Shakky. And it's like, yeah, she's going to fall in love with whoever saves her. Again, treating her as a prize the same way the celestial dragons are. Not the same way. Not as bad, but still not good. Even Whitebeard, who is just like, listen, guys, I'm here to save a friend. She doesn't need to fall in love with me. Though if she does, I won't be angry. But this Dusty's just like, what was that? But we haven't even seen the Whitebeard and Shakky interact once. And he's like, I'm here to save my friends. I'm like, can we not have established their friendship? A scene. I just wanted one singular scene where she was a character interacting with these people. Doesn't matter. Moving on. Gunko. We have Gunko in. Okay, so she is a part of the Manmir family, something like that. I don't know how to say it. And she's like the sword of God, which makes sense as she's the one who is possessed by Eam. Does a certain bloodline need to be there for a possession to occur? Can Eam only possess certain individuals, or can he possess anyone and just chose her for some reason? I need her backstory. I need her connection to Brooke. I need to know how she ended up in the Celestial Dragons. They describe her as like a pet to this family. And I'm just like, who is this family? I need more answers. She's slaughtering people as in like one of the favorites to win the individual competitions. That like she's going to kill the most individuals. How bloodthirsty did they make her? Then we have the Rogers pirates stepping in as they're there to either save Shakky or get the treasure. Roger wants to save Shakky, so she'll fall in love with him. And it's like, everyone else, you don't have a chance, so go get the treasure. And they're running through. You have Roger and Rocks coming into contact as they're splashing up the Marines. And then Garp throws his cannonball in. And again, I love that everyone's freaking out. The Rocks pirates. And it's like a full-on page spread of them. And then the Roger pirates, and it's a group shot. And then it's just Garp. Garp is here, and he's equal to these other two groups combined. And it's an introduction. I love it. Seriously though, why is Garp still in the Marines after coming to God Valley? I do not believe for a single second that he actually teams up with Roger to defend the slaves from Rocks. I will take maybe that Rocks loses control, tries to unleash something about the Davy family. I don't know. As revenge for the death of his wife, family, son, like anything he perceives against his family. I'll give you that. Maybe they have to team up to stop him. Maybe. I'm going with it's pure propaganda. And it was like all three of them were up against the God's Knights, or what, we got a new name for them. Hang on. Holy Knights of God. I like God's Knights better. They look awesome, by the way. We got a group shot of them, some familiar, some not. I think one or two. No, yeah, the skull, the man guy we seen in the flashback previously in God's Valley. And there's a girl with a sword. There's some monster thing in the back that looks to me like the abominable snowman and a fish man had a baby, and then he's just back there. There's one that looks like the horse spirits thing from current Elbath. They look awesome. Oda's designs, I love them. But yeah, I do not believe that Garp is going to team up with Roger to fight Rocks. That's propaganda. I'm going with the three of them teamed up to fight the God's Knights, and then something happened, and Garp had to make a deal with the world government, partly for his A, betrayal, and B, his son's betrayal. And maybe it was like, we'll let Dragon get head start if you agree to do this. You are popular with the people. We need you to continue to support us to keep the people in line and keep them happy. I don't know. Respects. I don't know. Something like that. And if you were to leave us, then we'll kill your son. We'll do something. We'll hurt these people. So the reason he's staying is not because he does want to affect change from the inside, but it's not just that. He can't, or else put his other family at risk. I don't know. There's got to be a reason for why Garp is still in the Marines at this point. So that is all I got. I am dying for the next chapter. I need to see what happens next. I'm so excited. I need motivations. I need to know what's going on. I need to see the God's Knights fighting. I need to know who these characters are. I need to know Gunko's backstory. I need everything. That is all I got. I will talk to you later. Bye.